have a battery disconnect switch. The disconnect switch is just like taking leads off the battery. If you want to disable the battery, just flip the switch to off. In the on position, it's allowing everything to charge the battery. The converter inside where the breaker panel is and so forth. It's a deep cell RV marine battery. You have I would suggest that they get a backup cylinder because this is only a 20-pound cylinder.
Okay.
It is full. I'm doping it up. You have a gauge right here that shows you how full or empty it is. That's the way the cylinders are coming nowadays. All lights, turn signals, brakes are through the 7-way connector. If it's being towed, this is a breakaway switch down here. It has to physically be connected to the tow vehicle. Lots of times we see people hook them up like that, it defeats the whole purpose. So if it's being towed, it has to be mounted on the receiver next to the chain, like so. If it were to come loose somehow, it pulls the plunger out of this switch and it applies the trailer brakes. If it is being towed, you see how the chains come off the tongue like this? Mm-hmm. Anytime it's hooked up, the chains have to be crossed. That's for safety reasons. You're going to have a 751 key. That'll be for the outside compartments. You have a spray shower head here. On each of the 4 corners, you have stabilizer jacks. And that's the handle to do it with. It's a 3/4 inch socket. It makes it a lot easier to hook it up to a cordless drill. Up here you have push button lights. There's a button in the center and that's what turns them on and off. Easy enough?
Easy enough.
Steps. Just fold up into place like that. Unfold them with the handle. You lend a hand, you can put it against the door or away from it. I'm going to come back through this stuff, but you have a switch right here that says awning extend and retract. You are going to have to watch this door because the arm right here is going to catch on this door. Let me close the door a little bit. It's a momentary switch. You can stop it anywhere you want. Sun's right in my eye. Okay, what I'm doing is a no-no. If I keep hitting extend, the fabric's going to roll up underneath the tube. When you retract the awning, the fabric goes over the top like that. There's a little flap. That's about all the way out right now. You have another switch up here that says awning lights, and that's the LED lights underneath it. If you have a dog, you can hook him up here. You have GFCI protected outlets. I don't know if you know the difference between black water and gray water, but black water is everything going down the toilet. Gray water is clean, dirty water, and that's from the shower vanity and kitchen sink. This port right here, your water pump is behind this panel in here. Your water pump is an on-demand pump. It's plumbed right now where you can pull water from the freshwater tank. You open the faucet, the pump runs, you close the faucet and the pump shuts off. But there's a valve on your pump. If I rotate that valve opposite of what it is, it makes this a suction port, and that's how we actually pump antifreeze into the unit and to winterize it. Now this port right here, black tank flush, that is a dedicated line that only goes into the black tank, the toilet tank. It's used to, it has a sprinkler system on it, it's used to rinse and maintain the tank. It's always better to let your tanks fill up 2/3 or so. Your monitor panel will show you all that. Dump the black water first and then follow with gray water. That'll rinse out some of the plumbing and also your waste hose. Since you've already got there's a warning label right here. Anytime you hook up to this, make sure that the black tank valve is open. If it's not open, it'll fill the tank, come up through the toilet and flood the unit. It's very important to use any kind of toilet paper that says septic safe on it. It will break down in the tank. This is the back of the furnace. When I turn the furnace on, you'll hear the fan run for about 10-15 seconds, and it ignites the burner. That's propane only. It's bringing in outside air and it'll exhaust hot air here. Furnace air comes through the floor registers, air conditioning comes through the roof registers. This is an on-demand water heater. As long as this switch has to be in the on position, position 1, that powers the control panel inside. The way it works is, anytime you open the hot side of any faucet, it'll go through and you're going to have 3 icons. One will show the fan running, one will show there's a demand for water, and then there's going to be an icon for propane flame. You can adjust the temperature, and I'll explain that inside. Everything right now is set up for, it's completely set up to where you could use it right now. You got GFCI outlets here. Here's another push button light. And this is a little dorm refrigerator. 120 volt AC. You are going to have to be plugged in for that top rate. Again, the 751 key will lock these compartments. Your bumper is hollow. You can pull those caps off. It's a good place to store a sewer hose. Then you don't have to contend with it inside the unit. This is your cord. No, that's not your cord. That's the shop cord. Your cord is inside here. Ideally, this unit wants 50 amp service. That's because you have 2 air conditioners. Low point drains. That's these little caps are up underneath there. If you want to gravity drain the water out of the lines, open your faucet, take the caps off, and that'll gravity drain the water out. It's used mainly, again, to winterize the unit where we pump antifreeze through. Okay. The handles are color coded. Gray water is always a 1.5 inch valve, and black water, your toilet water, is always a 3 inch valve. To dump the tanks, let them fill up. Again, let your black tank fill up. That's the one that's going to cause the issues. When it gets to about 2/3, open this valve. That'll empty the toilet tank. Gray water will empty the shower vanity and kitchen sink. Back to the black tank flush on the other side. Once you dump your black tank, you've already got the valve open. That's a good time to hook a hose up to it. Let it rinse the tank out. The cap has to be in place when it's traveling, and your sewer hose goes on the same way as this cap does. Easy enough? This spray port right here, there's a coiled hose in the front compartment. This gives you an outside shower. Now you're gonna be hooked up to a water source and electricity. What you're gonna do is take your hose and hook it up to your city water connection. The pressure coming into the unit through the hose is what you're gonna get through faucets, toilets, outside shower, and that kind of stuff. If you're hooked up here, you do not need to operate the pump. The pump is only to pull it out of the freshwater tank. And we do provide you with a pressure regulator. Put the pressure regulator on your faucet, connect your hose, and then connect your hose here. if you have access to cable or satellite system, this is an input to the unit. I do have fresh water in there, and that's to demonstrate the pump, but this is how you fill the freshwater tank. Once that tank's full, the water's just going to come out of here. Again, your monitor panel will show you how much water, waste or fresh, you have in the unit at any time. Since you're not going to be using this white drain right here, that's how you drain the water out of that freshwater tank, and I'll drain it once we get through with this. Again, stabilizer jacks on all four corners. This is your shoreline cord. The unit is prepped for solar panels if you wanted to add one to the roof. It's plug and play. The advantage of that is that anytime you're in the sun, you're charging your battery. And again, when you're plugged in, you're also charging your battery up front. Go around the room so I don't miss anything. Sure, it says awning, extend and retract. That's how you bring your awning in and out. Again, when you bring the awning in, the fabric rolls over the top of the tube like that. Awning lights, that's the LED lights under the awning. Living room lights are your entry lights. This is your monitor panel. If you want to check the status of the battery, push the button. You can see the battery's fully charged. I don't see if they, I don't see it. I can't see the red lights.
Yeah, so.
Fresh water. I have 2/3 in there. That's to demonstrate the pump. Black water, your toilet water is empty, and gray water is empty. As your tanks fill, you get more and more LEDs. When they're completely full, it's going to look, you can have 4. They definitely need to be dumped. Okay. I'm demonstrating the water pump right now. Since I have fresh water in the tank, turn on the pump. That's how you pump the water out of the freshwater tank. Close the faucet, the pump shuts off, open the faucet and the pump runs. There is no TV in here, and it would be easier to demonstrate if there were, but there is a backer here to mount it. But right here you have a little push button. When I turn it on, you get the red light. That's an amplifier. It amplifies the signal off your roof antenna. Hook up a TV, turn that on, and you will get several channels, lots of them. If you're hooked up to the cable inlet, you do not need to operate the booster. That's only to pull it off the roof antenna. This is exciting. You have a smoke detector up here. That is a pressure regulator. Put it on the faucet, connect your hose here, and then connect it this end to the city water connection. These are the manuals. It's very important that you go through them. It explains everything in the unit, but there's also going to be warranty cards. It's important to fill them out and mail them in. This is a Bluetooth speaker. The keys are right here. The purple keys will be both the locks on the entry door, and the 751 keys will be any of the outside compartments. This is a push button light. That's your range light. That's an exhaust fan. If you're cooking here, you need to turn on the fan and let it exhaust hot air out of the unit. We all know what these are. It's a microwave. This is a night light. But to operate your stovetop, push the buttons in. There's your propane. Easy enough. This is the furnace. When I turn the furnace on, the fan will run about 15 seconds and it ignites the burner. I'll demonstrate that over here. Down here is your breaker panel. Your converter is back there. The converter takes your shoreline power and splits it up. 120 volt AC, all the breakers are labeled right here. Main is your 50 amp, but there's a microwave, general purpose, GFI, and all that stuff. This is the converter splits up your shoreline power. 120 volt AC and 12 volt DC, which is going to be lights, igniters on appliances, that stuff. Your outlets that are labeled GFCI, this is the reset for it. If you lose power to them, it's just like in a house, push the reset button. Here's your lights. This panel right here is how you operate your water heater. Turn it on. It's kind of hard to see. You may have to get down there. Yeah, stand in front of it. You can adjust the temperature. But anytime you open the hot side of a faucet, it recognizes you want, there's an open faucet, there's the fan running, and there is the propane. If you watch it, you can see the temperature rise. And you have a hot water. You close the faucet, it's going to recognize no demand for hot water, and it's going to start cooling itself down. Easy enough. GFCI outlet. This exhaust fan, open the vent, and the switch to turn on the fan is right there. It's a shower, hot and cold water. If I pull this up, that's going to provide shower water. This is gray water. This is gray water, and the kitchen sink is gray water. The toilet is your black water. All you do, there's a little diagram there, but they want you to add some water, push it down halfway. That adds water to the bowl. You do your thing, and that will flush it. That flushes the toilet. Again, as your tanks fill, your monitor panel will show, it will indicate that. These privacy doors, there's one over here at the bedroom. Slide closed and snap them closed. This is the pantry. And also this unit is prepped for a washer and dryer if you wanted to do that. The shelves will come out, put the washer and dryer in there, and there's your supply lines for hot and cold water. This one here is the drain. Remember the smoke detector down here. Let me get this out of my pocket. Down here is a propane gas and carbon monoxide detector. I put it in a test mode. But if I do this without igniting the burner, propane's entering the unit. It's heavier than air, it settles to the floor. That's why the detectors are always mounted next to the floor. It's a safety device. I see it all the time. People get mad at them. They yank them off the wall and cut the wires. Don't do that. It's there for a reason. The chairs, they have little pull handles right here. Underneath them. Just keep them back underneath. There's a little cubby hole. I don't know why they do this, but I always show people these caps can come off. There is a little sewn in pocket there. So if you want to hide a set of keys, something else, that's a place for them. These blinds, right on the strings. The refrigerator is a 12-volt DC refrigerator. It's plenty cold. But here's the thermostat for it. I have it set on 6 right now, but if you want to turn it off, go back to 0. That turns it off. I'm going to turn it off right now because I don't know when it's going to be ready. This thermostat. Let me just walk it through. This thermostat is going to control this air conditioner, but to wake it up, you have to hold the button down. See where it says cool there? It's in automatic and you adjust the temperature right here. Let me shut it down again. This is going to be your furnace air. Okay, see where it says heat? That's your furnace. That's how you adjust the temperature of it. Now in a second you'll hear the fan come on. That is consuming propane. Most of your air is going to come out the front of it right there. But you also have a button down here next to the floor. That's going to be your furnace. And there it is. It's going to get hot in here. Now when your furnace hits whatever temperature you have it set at, or, oh, I got it on fan. When it hits your set point temperature, adjusted right here, or if you shut it down, it extinguishes the burner. The fan continues to run for about 30 seconds. It's just vacating any gases and cooling the chamber. But this one's going to be your main AC and your furnace. This AC is controlled by the thermostat up here. Fan is just moving air without the compressor being on. There's your thermostat. Rotate it to AC. And I can feel it. You have a filter right here. It just pops down. It's a reusable filter. All you have to do is vacuum it or rinse it off in water, blow it off with the air. This is an exit window. You can use it for ventilation, but in a real emergency, you pull the screen, the window is hinged at the top, and you jump out the window. Yay. I think I'd go for the door. Remember the antenna booster over there? That's also tied into this plug. So there's a backer right there. If you want to bring a TV in here, run the cable to it, plug it in, turn on the booster. They will power all your TVs. Reading lights. There's one on the opposite side there. Back here, you have USB charging stations. There's one over there, and there's one on this side also. There is storage under the bed. And you get the cute little baskets. The ceiling light is operated with this switch right here. It is equipped for Wi-Fi. It's an option, I believe. What else? Awning, extend and retract. I'm bringing in the awning right now. The best rule of thumb is unless you're under this awning, retract it. You don't want to leave it unattended. The wind can catch it and do a lot of damage to the unit. Slide room in and out is operated right here. I'm going to take it back out for a second. When you hear that ratcheting, the room is seated. It's not going to go any further. You'll hear that in and out. Never leave the room halfway open or halfway closed. It's got to make the seal, or else it's going to be developing leaks. Can you get through there? You want me to open it up a little bit? Sorry I forgot about this, but if you have an outside griddle or a chicken fryer, turkey fryer, or something like that, you do have a port right here. That is feeding. That'll give you a propane supply to your outside cook. That's feeding from your cylinder up front. Again, because this is non-demand water heater, I would suggest you get a backup cylinder. Okay, I'm gonna dump the... And it'll come out fast. How cool is that?